Welcome back to my channel. I am Max, aka 311 Griffin, aka that's not my real name. And every year I do March Madness of DCS, and I've done it a few different ways. I try to do it a little bit differently every year, but every year it is some sort of a tournament between mostly AI aircraft in DCS, and then the last couple of years I've flown primarily the F-16 in those. I've done missile fights, I've done guns only, you know, it depends on how I feel that year. It takes a lot of work, they're not that great of videos, and I don't get a lot of views, so I'm just doing a little bit differently this year, and I'm going to try to keep it shorter. I don't want to have, 12 different videos that are 30 minutes to an hour long of a bunch of different fights, so I'm going to abbreviate slightly. I'm also doing a little bit different rules. Basically, I took what I considered to be the top 16, actually 17 jet fighters in DCS, modules in DCS, and I ranked them based on how I feel like they'll perform in DCS. I have 4 number 1 seeds, 4 number 2 seeds, 4 number 3 seeds, and 4 number 4 seeds, and we're doing a 4-part bracket, basically like the NCAA basketball tournament. And the way I'm going to do this is, if I own one of the modules in the fight, I'm going to fly one of the modules in the fight. If I own both of the modules that are in that particular fight, I'm just going to pick which one I want to fly, and I'm going to fly. So I won't be in every fight, but I'm going to be in a lot more fights. So the first thing is that I wound up with 17 aircraft that I thought were pretty good that could be included in this bracket. Now, some of these aircraft, if the AI are flying them, they're just not going to put up that much of a fight. Like the F-86 Harrier is in this bracket because it is a very capable air-to-air aircraft. It can turn pretty well, and in the hands of a good pilot, it's pretty capable. When the AI flies it, it almost always drops its gun pod and just flies away. And I am doing guns only because I want to. That's what I prefer to do. So chances are it's not going to do very well. I don't fly the Harrier very much, so I doubt I'll fly it in the bracket, but or in the tournament. I did leave out the J-11 because I have the Su-33 and the Su-27 in here, and the J-11 is basically another Su-27. I didn't need 3 flanker variants. The 33 is different enough, I left it in. I also took out the Viggen. The Viggen is very much, especially when the AI is flying it, it's very much like the AV-8B. I also included the L-39ZA, but I did not include some of the other quote-unquote trainers because they didn't seem as capable. They didn't seem, the AI doesn't fly them right, stuff like that. So anyway, we wound up with 17 aircraft. Now, this particular video, I'm just showing the highlights of a fight where I flew the F-86 Saber up against the MiG-15. Those are very similar aircraft. I think according to the way they fly in DCS, if I were to just to pick one to put in the bracket, it would be the MiG-15. It seems to do better in AI versus AI fights, but I decided I would fly that mission with me and the F-86, and whoever won that mission went into the bracket. So the F-86 is going into the bracket as a number 4 seed. As you see here, this is the bracket. And our number 1 seeds are the F-16C Viper, the M2000C Mirage, the MiG-29 Fulcrum, and the JF-17 Jeff Thunder. Those are the number 1 seeds. I picked those because in terms of a gun fight, I feel like those are the 4 aircraft that have the most capability and are the best in DCS. I could be wrong. That's just the way I felt. Okay. Coming in at number 2, we've got the F-5 Tiger II, the FA-18C Hornet, the F-14B Tomcat, and the Su-27 Flanker. Those are number 2 seeds. All right. And then at number 3, we've got the F-15C Eagle, the Su-33 Flanker, the AV-8B Harrier, and the MiG-21 Fishbed. And then at our number 4 seeds, we've got the F-1 Mirage, we've got the L-39ZA Albatross, we have the F-86 Saber now, F-86F, I should say, Saber, and we have the MiG-19 Farmer. So in our quadrants, F-16 is going to, we've basically got number ones versus number fours, and then number threes versus number twos. So in this fight, the like sort of beige orange means I don't own the module, or I will not be flying the module. Some of those I own, but I'm not going to be flying them. The blue means that I will be flying them. So the only round one fight I won't be flying in is the JF-17 versus MiG-19. So that might be interesting. The MiG-29 versus L-39, I'll fly the MiG-29. I'm not very good with the MiG-29, so we'll see how that goes. Su-33 versus F-14B, that might be fun because I can fly either one of those. I probably should fly the Su-33 because I'm better with it than I am with the F-14, but I'm going to try the F-14. We'll see how it goes. I don't own the Tiger, so I'm going to fly the F-15C against the Tiger. The Tiger can turn really well. I don't expect to do very well in that fight. And then we got the F-1 Mirage versus the F-16C. The Mirage, in terms of a gunfight, I may have this one a little bit. I might have it ranked or seeded a little bit off. I don't know that much about the F-1. I have a feeling that it's quite capable. I'll fly the F-86 up against the Mirage, the M2000C, and I will get slaughtered. Then I'm going to fly the Hornet against the Fishbed. I think I can do fairly well in that one. And I will fly the Su-27 Flanker against the AV-8B Harrier. I think I can do pretty well against the AI, at least in that one. And then we will go from there. We'll see who wins. If at any point I have two aircraft, like right here, if I win in the F-16 and I win in the F-15, I'll just pick which one I want to fly. For that fight, it will be the F-16 if they're both in there. Same thing here. If it's the F-14 versus the MiG-29, by the time we get here, I'll just pick one. We don't have that risk in this quadrant. We do have that risk in this quadrant, except the F-86 with me behind the stick is not going to make it out of round one. So here in this particular fight, this is just the highlights again, but in this particular fight, once upon a time I would not have been able to get behind the MiG-15 in the Saber, and if I did, he would climb away and I'd just never catch him. In this particular case, we did a couple of turns. It was pretty fun. And then we got lost in the clouds, and I left the labels on. I'm reserving the right to leave the labels on. I'm going to use the abbreviated label, so it's just the dot, a colored dot. That's what I'm going to do in these matches. Also, all the AI are veteran. I'm setting them to veteran. I used to set to ace, but with veteran, they seem to fly a little bit more realistically, and they don't have as much access to infinite power without infinite responsibility, I might add. So, so anyway, they're going to be veterans. I won't always use the dot, but I reserve the right to use the dot. If anyway, we got lost in the clouds. The MiG did a good job of dragging me into the clouds. We wound up closer than I thought we were, and I probably could have got some good hits on him if I could have seen him. I saw the dot. I knew he was there. I noticed it started floating around in the HUD quite rapidly, and so I realized I was pretty close. Wound up separating, losing track of him, picked him up again. He was going into land because I'd gotten some bullets into him. Not many, but just a few. And so I got in behind him, and the AI kind of likes to take a few turns flying straight and level as they go to land, and I think they know you're behind them, but they don't do anything about it. You put shots out, they start maneuvering, stuff like that. So it got a little weird. The AI didn't really behave that correctly. I wound up killing him, but I'm no good in the Saber, so I'm just not very good with it. I don't know that gun sight. I don't understand how to use it. I just have to get really close and try to walk my bullets onto the target. But it is fun to fly, and I thoroughly enjoyed the fight. So anyway, this isn't part of the tournament. I was just trying to figure out which one of these aircraft I was going to put in it. Now that we know, now you know the tournament bracket. I don't know how many videos this is going to be, but it won't be as many as normal, and I'm going to try to do more highlights instead of a full fight each time, because it gets a little boring watching planes do circles, especially when they're two AI aircraft. Also, I'm not including the warbirds because I don't fly them that much. Maybe at some point I'll do a warbird only bracket or something like that. I don't really know, but for right now, this is what I'm doing this year. I've got a lot going on anyway, and we will see how this works. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the 2023 DCS March Madness Guns Only Tournament, courtesy of the 311 Griffin YouTube channel, and happy flying.